Hey everyone, well, this is part 2. So, this has probably come because after my last video, I had quite a few people reach out to me. Some going through depression, some that have cancer as well. Actually, quite shocking the amount of people that are suffering with some sort of cancer. But also a lot of people that are suffering with mental health issues, and it's quite shocking how many people out there that we know on the face of it don't look depressed, yet they're struggling with it. So off the back of my midnight call from Kathleen Bowie and Claire Bowie, who turned my room into a rave, as you can see, those two actually inspired me as well, and said I need to do more of this because I could be helping a lot of people. And yeah, I'm hoping I can. So the last time I spoke, I mentioned Rachel Bland, who passed away, who was 40, after being diagnosed with breast cancer. It's awful. She was young, but she touched so many people's lives. And yeah, it's sort of quite scary, but there's not one type of breast cancer, there's several. And she had triple negative breast cancer, and probably one of the most aggressive. And unfortunately hers spread. But also, let's move away from that. Her attitude, her will to live the best life ever, was amazing, and that inspired me. Not to mention, recently there is a Olympic cyclist, Christina Vogel. She's only 27, and she was in a horrendous crash during training, and she can't walk now. She's basically paralyzed. But I'll read a quote from a write-up that I read this morning, and it kind of puts everything in perspective. She said, "I can't walk now. I believe that the sooner you accept a new situation, the sooner you'll learn to deal with it." And she said, no matter what fate hands you, life goes on. And in my case, now on 4 wheels instead of 2. And this is an athlete that had so much ahead of her at 27. But by the sounds of it, she's going to take her situation and turn it into positive, and probably train. She'll probably be in the Paralympics. And she hasn't taken the fact that she's paralyzed and made it stop her. It's actually just issued another challenge for her, and just wow. So as much as I've been fighting breast cancer and my own issues, there's other people out there battling their own struggles, and I don't know whether it's just all the positiveness coming from bad situations that made me want to do these videos as well. I'm not quite ready to do live ones because I need to prep for these. But I've had recently, talking about Christina Vogel, I had a really good friend from home also have a bad cycling accident. I'm not going to mention it because they haven't gone public with it. And luckily they're not paralyzed, and they got lucky. So it comes back to, you've got to live the best life you can, no matter what your situation. Just to put things in perspective, I went from being fit and healthy. I had like 18 months of stress with my previous job, Um, I've never experienced that kind of stress, and only when I was out of it, when I got diagnosed, did I realise the impact it was having on me. Um, and it went from stress to a bit of depression as well. And it's an awful place to be. It's an awful dark place to be. And yeah, while I was going for biopsies, I still went for job interview to try and decided that I was going to move myself out of that situation. And happily got the job, and they've been really good to me. But to go from being healthy and fit and thinking it would never happen to me, I'll show you. This is from never visiting a doctor to my records. And these two little books are what I documented every step of my journey. And I'm documenting it on my website as well, so if any of you want to have a look and reread my story, and my progress will be on there, just let me know. But for all my friends out there who are suffering with depression and in a dark place, guys, you don't have to stay there. You don't have to deal with it on your own. And if it means private messaging me, chatting to me, I am not a doctor. I'm not qualified to give you any sort of advice, but I can give you from my personal opinion and my friendship, and just know that you're not alone. Reach out to the people that are willing to listen and willing to make the time. And yes, I'm having my own struggles, but I'm on the other side of it. So now all I want to do is help other people. And for any of my friends having issues with cancer, breast cancer, if there's any questions you want, just drop me a private message. If there's any questions about my journey and my research, drop me a message, and I'll answer as best as I can. But bearing in mind, this is my experience and yours might be different, and your breast cancer might be different. Later on, I'll share with you all the research I did on the types of breast cancer, and there's up until being diagnosed, I didn't know there was so many different types. I thought there was one and you were going to die. But that's not necessarily true now, because everybody experiences their own type, and what's affected me might not affect the same another person. And it might be, some might have aggressive invasive cancer, some might be only DCIS, which is what I had, and I was lucky that it didn't spread to the lymph nodes. And every month that I am fine, and every checkup that I am fine, I am thankful for that. So thankful. And I'm thankful for the crazy friends out there that keep me laughing, that wake me up even though I try not to answer the phone, but then Kath, you sneaky. But anyway, checking your online status to see if you've checked the message, and then phone again. But yeah, those kind of people, those are the good people to keep in your life. The ones that make you laugh and crack you up and disturb your sleep because they live in a different country, in a different time zone. But yeah, they make me laugh. And keep those people. Speak to people. If you haven't spoken to someone for ages, just drop them a text. And if you haven't got their number, get their number and speak to them once in a while, because all of that has helped me keep positive and help me continue my little health journey. I'll keep documenting my training and my fitness. If anyone gets annoyed, there is a hide button in the corner. Just hide it, and if you're really annoyed, just delete me, because I'm just about keeping my true friends in my life, and yeah, the ones that just want to enjoy life. And I'm not saying life has to be all about positivity, because my last year has not been. It's been a struggle, but I have an amazing family, and my closest friends have kept my head above water. So keep your family close, because you'll be amazed how much they actually step up. And remember, whatever you're going through, there is always someone worse off. An example was, I was going for my radiotherapy treatment, and I was sat in the waiting room waiting for my first session. And I looked around and I realised I was in a hospital that just dealt with cancer patients. So every single person was sick in that hospital, and I was one of them. But there was a lady there with throat cancer, and from the bottom of her throat to the top of her throat, she was probably that colour red. And this lady was there, and she was having I think she had 20 sessions of radiotherapy lined up, but she'd been there before me. And all this lady said to me was, all I want is a glass of wine, and I want to get my teeth fixed, because radiotherapy had damaged her gums and teeth, and they were starting to fall out. And she just says, that's all I want. And I asked her, are you still smoking? And she said, no. As soon as I got diagnosed, I stopped smoking. So my advice is, if you can, give it up. Give up the smoking. This lady was so red raw, and that kind of frightened me, because I didn't know what to expect. My treatment was literally 2 minutes, and when I came out and I realised, my skin was taking it quite well, I was quite relieved. And then I had to go and pick up my prescription, and in there were people waiting. And there was a lady who had half her face missing she probably had cancer of the bone in the eye. And there were loads of cancer patients there, but the staff at Christie's, first class. They treated everyone with respect. But on one of my sessions, towards the end of my sessions, there was a young girl who was 30, and she had just come in, and she didn't realise that she needed to go to the loo, because she had, before her radiotherapy, she kind of was there for her first session with her mum, and she went in, and they scanned her, and then she had to leave and come out, because she needed to go to the loo, because she had cervical cancer, and she had, I think it was stage 3, and she was 30. And at that point, I had 2 more sessions left, and then I realised that people worse off than me. So for all of you that are out there struggling, I'm not saying always think there's someone worse off, but you probably find there will be someone worse off. And just keep fighting, whether it's cancer, whether it's depression. If you're in a bad job, change it, because that famous saying, you're not a tree. So if you don't like your situation, move. That is just so true, because life's too short not to. If you hate your job and you hate the people you work with, change it, because that was the best move I ever made, was changing jobs. So yeah, I hope everything that I'm starting to share with you helps in some way. But anyone is free to visit my website. I'm updating my blog. I'm updating my progress. I feel very little pain across my chest now and down the side. So in the next few weeks, I'm going to attempt to start doing push-ups again. Maybe not a lot, but yesterday I tried a couple and I felt quite strong. Didn't feel like my chest was going to split a bit. That's, to be blunt, that's what it felt like. Even hanging from a pull-up bar was quite nasty. Felt like I was going to rip my chest out. So for me to do a couple of press-ups and it feels strong was quite an achievement. But I'll keep you posted, and I will start doing live feeds. I plan to make a plan with my good friend Tash in Norfolk when we both feel ready to go live, because we both had a hard time this year, and different situations, but it's relatable to more than one person, so it's worth talking about. But yeah, and if anything, you guys have an amazing week, and I'll post these updates, these videos, maybe once a week, so I'm not bombarding you with them. And yes, I wear glasses every now and then. But yeah, have a great weekend and take care. Love you guys.